Okay, welcome back, guys, to the Andrew Delish podcast. Okay, guys, so today I'm going to be alone. It's going to be a big episode. I have a lot of fucking topics that I have to address. I have to. So, first of all, guys, you know, in my podcast, I talk a lot about football, soccer, because it's the greatest sport on planet Earth, and I'm an expert, of course. So, guys, recently I put many clips of me bashing Ronaldo and talking highly regarding Messi. And once I did a clip like saying how Messi is still to this day the greatest player on planet Earth, even if he's 38 years old, even if he's still playing in the MLS, even I don't care how old he is, I don't care where he's playing, he's still the best player on planet Earth. And then, of course, when I posted that clip, I got a lot of negative comments, a lot of people telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about, and a lot of people making fun of me for still thinking that Messi, even though he's 38 years old, which is past your prime in football, that he's still the best player on planet Earth. Okay, guys, so if you don't want to take my word for it, because right now he's playing in the MLS, right? So he cannot really prove himself amongst the best European clubs and amongst the best football players, right? He can because he's in the MLS. But one question I'm going to ask you guys, what's coming up quickly? The Finalissima, which is going to be Argentina against Spain. So that's going to be up. That's going to be in like 2026 in March. And then there's going to be, of course, the World Cup in 2026 against in Canada, America, and Mexico, right? So like I said, guys, if you don't want to take my word for it when I say that Messi is still to this day the best player on planet Earth, you're going to see in the Finalissima when he's going to play against Spain, which is with Lamine Yamal, Pedri, Fabian Ruiz, all these best young players who are currently playing in Europe, you will see how Messi will play against them, okay? I am ready to predict right now that in the Finalissima, is that how we say? Yeah, Finalissima. In the Finalissima, when Messi will be facing Spain with his Argentinian squad, that game, Messi will be the man of the match. I'm willing and ready to take a bet. Whoever wants to place a bet with me, they can do it because I'm so confident that it's going to happen. Why? Because you guys will see, like I've been saying for the past months, for the past 2-3 years, Messi is still the best player on planet Earth. Like I said, this Finalissima is going to be in March 2026. He's going to be playing against Spain. He's going to, and believe me, like I said, I'm willing and I'm ready to take a bet with whoever. Just DM me a bet of the amount that you want, that Messi will end up the man of the match for that game. And then let me push it even a step further. In the 2026 World Cup, fuck it, I'm going to say it. In the 2026 World Cup, Messi will be the best player that tournament. Argentina will minimum finish 4th or 3rd, meaning that they're going to reach the semifinals at the minimum. They might even win it. They might even reach the finals. But at the minimum, they're going to be playing the game for the 3rd place. That's where Argentina are going to end up in the 2026 World Cup because Argentina are a very, very strong squad. They have a really, really strong team and a really, really strong squad for the upcoming World Cup. And I am ready and willing and capable to say that Messi is going to end up being the best player in the 2026 World Cup. So hopefully that will shut up everyone who's constantly saying, bashing me for saying that Messi is still the best player. Oh, he's playing in the MLS, so he didn't really prove himself. Wait till the World Cup. And if you don't want to wait that long, wait until March. I'm not sure when, like, it's going to be played like in March. Wait until the Finalissima will be played between Spain and Argentina. And you will see the way Messi will play that game amongst Spain, which is filled with young stars, young players who are currently the best players on planet Earth in Europe, top 5 leagues, somewhere where Messi isn't playing anymore. And you will see that Messi is still a level above all of them. I don't care if he's 38 years old. I don't care that he's been playing the MLS for the past 2 years. He's still the best player on planet Earth because that's Lionel fucking Messi, man. So, of course, in many podcasts with Luca and Hassan, just everyone I talk football with, I always brought up the theory, I always brought up the possibility of Neymar winning the World Cup with Brazil if, of course, like I said so many times, if Neymar plays to his full capabilities and the entire Brazilian team runs and defends and plays for Neymar, they're winning the World Cup with flying colors. And then, of course, Hassan and Luca think that there's not a lot of chances of it happening. I agree. I think there's more chances of it not happening than happening. But I don't think it's 99% chances of it not happening and 1% chance of it happening. I'm going to be optimistic. I'm going to believe in Neymar. because he showed me in the past how much of a fucking amazing talent he is, how much of an amazing player he is. I'm going to believe in Neymar. I'm going to believe in his magic. I'm going to believe in Brazil. I'm going to believe in their magic. And I'm saying that it's 50-50. There's high chances, maybe not high chances, but there are some pretty good chances that Brazil win the 2026 World Cup. That's how fucking powerful they are, how strong they are. They are lacking in the midfield, I'm not going to lie. But up front, they're so fucking strong. And guys, don't forget, Neymar and Rafinha can easily play offensive midfielder. So that's covered. You're just lacking in number 8 and in number 6. They can find like a good, solid, strong number 6. And then, of course, they have a good back 4 line. They have amazing attackers, amazing goalkeepers. They have really strong chances. Okay, so guys, next topic. Low-key. Okay, so someone wrote on Twitter regarding Kylian Mbappé. And they said, happy 27th birthday to the talented Kylian Mbappé. And then someone went on to write, low-key, he's actually underachieved since he won the World Cup. Remove that World Cup and his career looks spooky. What happened? Mbappé, it just so happened that Mbappé, when he was 19 years old, he entered a squad, an international squad, which is really, really fucking powerful, really, really fucking strong. And Neymar, when he was 19, when he won the World Cup at 18, 19, at that age, if you're a true talent, if you're a generational talent like Mbappé, you're going to be phenomenal on the pitch. Like, you're a full-grown adult. Of course, you still have a lot to learn. You still have a lot to develop yourself, but you're still going to be a high class level player like Mbappé. So, of course, he came, and it's all about circumstances, right? He came into a team in 2018 in which France were fucking dominating every single team. And he just so happened to come on that team that year, and then he won the World Cup. That World Cup, let's not forget, Mbappé was fucking phenomenal that World Cup. He was fucking phenomenal. He was second best player after Luka Modric. Of course, Luka Modric, that World Cup went crazy. He was the best player by far that World Cup. But, so yeah, he won the World Cup. He was phenomenal. After that, he was still amazing. Mbappé to this day is still phenomenal. He's an amazing player. Top 3 players in the world currently. If not, maybe the best player on planet Earth, although I believe that it's still Messi and then Lamine Yamal. But you guys know what I mean. He's top 3 European players in the world right now, Kylian Mbappé. And, I mean, he didn't really underachieve. It's just he reached such a high peak at such a young age that everything after that is seen as mediocre, considering the fact that he won the World Cup at the age of fucking 18. Like, you know how fucking crazy that is and how rare that is? Like, I think the only person to lead a team, to be the top player, to be the main player, to win a World Cup was Pele in like the 60s, right? Who else at the age of 18, 19 led a national team to win the World Cup and to be their best player at the same time? Who else in Kylian Mbappé did that at that age? No one, right? Only fucking, what's his name? Pele did it. Maradona, when he won the World Cup in 86, he was like 25, 26 years old. When Iniesta won it, he was like 24, 25. When all these big players, when Messi won it, he was like 35, 36. It's very rare. It never happened before Mbappé. It actually did happen before Mbappé, and it was Pele in the 60s. And never again did it happen. So that's why when he reached such a high peak at such a young age, that everything after that feels like mediocre. Feels like he didn't accomplish a lot. But I understand he never won a Champions League. That's a fact. He never won a Ballon d'Or. That's also a fact. He just turned 27. Like I said, will he win a Ballon d'Or? I believe that he will. Not many Ballon d'Ors. I see him winning 2 at the most. 3 if somehow he's fucking phenomenal. I don't see him winning more than 2, in my opinion. I see him winning 1, without a doubt. Also, if he wins the World Cup again with France, he's definitely winning the Ballon d'Or. But, like, so regarding the squad, I'm like 50-50. Yes, considering the fact that he won the World Cup at 19. After that, yes, he did underachieve. If you compare his accomplishments, comparing to winning the World Cup in 2018, of course, he underachieved. But still, like, he didn't have a downfall. He's still playing to the best of his capabilities. He's still a top player in Europe. Still one of the best players in the world. So Mbappé is still relevant and he's still there. So that's what I mean that he didn't underachieve. But I understand where people come from when they say that he underachieved ever since winning the World Cup. Okay, so again on Twitter, someone wrote, and So I'm gonna start off with the starting 11 that they produced regarding the best Premier League 11 of all time. So he put in goal, he put Schmeichel, he put Trent right back, Ferdinand and Van Dijk center back, Ashley Cole left back. Then he went on to put De Bruyne and Lampard and Gerrard in midfield. And then up front, he has Salah, Henry, and Ronaldo. Now, of course, this is debatable. In my opinion, Paul Scholes should be there. But that's not the point I'm trying to prove right now. The point I'm trying to prove is after he made that 11, he went on to write, I find it hilarious that no La Liga player gets into the Premier League all-time 11. Messi is probably the only shout to be fair. This is fucking ludicrous. First of all, Xavi, Iniesta, and Zidane, who all three of those players played in La Liga, all three of them could easily replace Gerrard, Lampard, and De Bruyne. Gerrard isn't better than Xavi, Iniesta, or Zidane. Lampard isn't better than Xavi, Iniesta, or Zidane. And De Bruyne, who is phenomenal, still is not better than Xavi, Iniesta, and Zidane. And if I might add, I can even throw Sergio Busquets in that mix. That's the level of difference. So this take was fucking crazy. And then to go on to say that Henry, you're really telling me that Ronaldo Phenomenal wouldn't replace Henry up front? That's crazy. You're telling me that Neymar in his prime, his last 2-3 seasons at Barcelona, which were his prime, he's not making this top 11. Neymar in his prime is 20 times better than Henry in his prime. Although all the respect to Thierry Henry, one of the greatest players to ever play in the Premier League, a legend, right? Thierry Henry, a legend. Neymar is still 10 times better than Thierry Henry. Like, it's not even comparable. Like, Thierry Henry is here, a legend, but then you have fucking Neymar. It's not even comparable. And then you're telling me that Salah is better than Neymar in his prime? What the actual fuck? Like, what the actual fuck? And even if you were to take out Salah and put, let's say, Eden Hazard, Neymar is still better than Eden Hazard. And if I might add, Eden Hazard is better than Salah. I don't know why Salah is there and not Eden Hazard. Maybe because he has more longevity and a more accomplished career in the Premier League. But still, Neymar is 10 times better than Mohamed Salah. It's not even close. Neymar's prime is here. Mohamed Salah's prime is here. It's not even close. In my opinion, if you have a little bit of football IQ, there's no debate. It's never been a debate, and it's never going to be a debate between Neymar in his prime and Salah in his prime. So this is just fucking crazy, if I might add. If I even look at Serie A players, there's a lot of Serie A players that could easily fit in the 11 of the Premier League. And even if I was to do a all-time 11, the Premier League would have the least players out of these top three leagues, which is EPL, La Liga, and Serie A. La Liga and Serie A would have the most legends in the all-time 11. And out of those three leagues, of course, EPL would have more legends in the starting 11 than France and German league. I agree. But the Premier League, the EPL, would have less players on the all-time 11 than La Liga and Serie A. La Liga and Serie A would by far have the most players in the all-time 11, and that's a fact. There's no debating it. If you know football, you know that's a fact. Next topic. So Fabrizio Romano, big, probably the biggest football journalist we have. He wrote on Facebook, he said, Lamine Yamal is continuously improving his performance year after year. 2023, he had 3 goals. In 2024, he had 13 goals. And in 2025, he has 24 goals. It's not normal at 18 years old. That's fucking true. That's crazy, bro. He's still 18 years old. You guys understand how fucking crazy that is? If he was to be injured for 2 years straight, knock on wood, it won't happen. But he would still be only 20, which is still considered a youngster in the footballing world. Yo, like if you guys think about it, Mbappé is 9 years older than Lamine Yamal. 9 years older. You know how much he still has to accomplish, Lamine Yamal? Crazy, but again, like I said in the beginning of the episode, Mbappé at 19, he won the World Cup, and then after that, he didn't really win a major trophy. So maybe, like, of course, you never know how one's trajectory can go. He can be at the peak of winning trophies when he's younger, and then when he's older, like, there's a lot of circumstances and there's a lot of things that go into play. But if we look at this logically and rationally, Lamine Yamal is only 18 years old. That's fucking crazy. That's ludicrous. He's only going to get better and better. And of course, now he's talking only about goals. Lamine Yamal is an amazing he's a good goal scorer. He's not necessarily a goal scorer. He's more of a passer, an assist maker, and a play creator, right? He's a playmaker and an assist maker. That's what Lamine Yamal is. But of course, even if you look at goals, that's good. He has a good goal tally. But he's way more a playmaker and an assist maker, and that's where he flourishes the most. Making plays and assisting players. That's where he plays like a fucking animal, man. Next topic. Okay, so Scott McTominay. For people who know, ever since Scott McTominay left Man United, he's been playing lights out. He's been playing phenomenally well. He's been playing really fucking well with Napoli. Now here I have his stats for the 2025 year. He won the Italian Super Cup. He won the Serie A in 2024 and 2025. He was a Serie A MVP for that season, which is fucking crazy. He was 18th at the Ballon d'Or. He was named AIC Serie A Player of the Year. And he was in this AIC Serie A Team of the Year. 24 goals and assists since leaving United. And he qualified with Scotland for the 2026 World Cup. Scott McTominay is having the time of his life, as he deserves. He proved that he's an amazing midfielder, world-class midfielder. Winning MVP for the Serie A in 2024-2025 season is really fucking good. He showed that he's the best player in Serie A, considering that there's Rafael Leao and many other big talents over there. He won the best player. He won the Serie A with Napoli. Yo, he's blessed. And plus, living in Italy with their environment, their way of life, their culture is 1,000 times better than fucking England, especially the weather and the food. I traveled to Italy. I traveled to England. Both cultures are very rich cultures as countries. But if I only look at food and weather, the difference is crazy, bro. Like the food in England is quote unquote shit. And the weather over there is shit. Constantly raining, no sun, whatever. But in Italy, the food, Italian food is probably the greatest food on planet Earth, right? Pizza, pasta, lasagna, whatever. And the weather is just sun all day long. It's beautiful weather, especially Napoli is in the south of Italy. So it's very beautiful. Next topic. So stats are out. The most watched leagues in the world for 2025. The first one was the EPL, which makes sense. In my opinion, yeah, maybe it's between EPL and La Liga for the strongest leagues currently in 2025 in the world. Probably the Premier League is. But the reason why it was the most watched, it's because it's the most competitive league. For the past 15 years, the EPL has been the most competitive. Not necessarily the best, but the most competitive. Meaning, in the EPL, you have like 6-7 teams who are constantly competing for who's going to win the title that year. In La Liga, you only have 2 teams, 3 teams if Atletico Madrid are going crazy. But it's always between Barca and Real Madrid when it comes to who's going to win the league. But in the EPL, you have like 6-7 teams who have the possibility of winning the title, the league that season. So that's why, in my opinion, is the most watched. And then, of course, second place was La Liga. Makes sense. You have Real Madrid, Barcelona, which are probably the 2 biggest teams in the world to watch. For people who are outside of Europe, that helps a lot. Then in third place, you have Bundesliga. And in fourth, you have Serie A. And in fifth, League One. I'm not surprised that League One is last. I would have guessed that. But I'm surprised that Bundesliga was more watched than Serie A for the year 2025. Bundesliga is good, but you only have Bayern Munich. Maybe, not Frankfurt, Leipzig, maybe. But Serie A, it's Italian football, right? It's like one of the greatest leagues of all time. It's either the first or the second greatest league of all time after La Liga, or maybe even before La Liga. So I'm surprised that Bundesliga finished over Serie A. I would have guessed that it would have been EPL, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, and then League One. But hey, I guess Bundesliga finished above. In sixth place, you have MLS. I just want to highlight one fact. The only reason that the MLS finished as the 6th most watched league in the year 2025 is because Messi is there. That's it. No other reason, no other whatever. It's only because Messi is there. If Messi wasn't there, the MLS would have finished 36th out of 35 leagues. They would have finished 36th. It would have finished as the last. But only because Messi is there, they finished as the most watched league after the top 5 leagues in Europe. Crazy. And then after that, which this is really fucking surprising. Yes, I understand that Messi's in the MLS, but you only have Messi. 6th, Brasileiro Serie A. The Brazilian league finished below MLS in 7th place. The Brazilian league is 1,000 times better than the MLS. People are going to disagree with me right now, never watched the Brazilian league. The Brazilian league is really fucking strong. If I might add, the best league in the world after the top 5 leagues in Europe is the Brazilian league. You have teams currently right now in the Brazilian league. If you were to take some teams from that league, the best teams, and put them in the EPL, put them in La Liga, put them in Serie A, put them in League One, put them in Bundesliga, they're going to be top 10 in that league. That's how fucking competitive that league is. That league is really, really fucking competitive. Then after that, you have Liga MX, the Mexican league. And then in 9th place, you have Portuguese league, Liga Portugal. And in 10th place, you have Eredivisie, which is the Netherlands league. Okay, so guys, Give Me Sport, which is like a big media company for football, for soccer, they made their top 10 greatest football players of all time. Jesus, whoever runs that page, whoever runs that media company needs to get fired. Fire all of them. I don't know, but this list is fucking crazy, man. So in first place, they have Leo Messi. Sure, perfect. I agree. He deserves to be first. Second place, they have Cristiano Ronaldo. Guys, I know I love to hate on Ronaldo, and sometimes I exaggerate a little bit and I hate a bit too much on him. I agree. But he's not the second greatest player of all time. What the actual fuck? If he was to put him top 10, okay, fine, sure, like 9th, 8th at the best, or maybe even 10th. But to put him second greatest player of all time, Give Me Sport, this is crazy. I'm talking to the media company right now. This is fucking ludicrous. Ronaldo finishing above Maradona, above Ronaldinho is fucking crazy. And CR7, if I might add, him finishing above Pele and Ronaldo 9 is fucking crazy. And then third place, they have Pele. Sure, why not? Pele deserves to be in the top 5. He does. I hear many people saying that he's overrated. He's not. He's properly rated. Pele is one of the greatest players of all time. No doubt there. But the thing that really fucks with my head and really pisses me off is seeing Diego Maradona fourth. So right now, you're telling me that Cristiano Ronaldo and Pele are better players than Maradona. Messi, of course, I don't disagree. Although in my opinion, Messi isn't a better player than Maradona. Messi and Maradona are the same when it comes to abilities on the pitch. But since they are the same on the pitch, just because Messi had a more flourishing career, he had a better longevity, and he accomplished way more, that's why in the GOAT list, I put Messi above Maradona. But just below Messi, you have Maradona and Ronaldinho. Like I said, those three players, like Messi is first, and then in second place, it's Maradona and Ronaldinho. I cannot put Maradona second and Ronaldinho third because that's going to be disrespectful towards Ronaldinho. But I also cannot put Ronaldinho second and put Maradona third because that would be disrespectful towards Maradona. So Messi, Maradona, and Ronaldinho are the three greatest players of all time when it comes to abilities, footballing abilities on the pitch. No doubt there, right? Like if you know football, you agree with me. But the only difference is Messi accomplished way more, had a way more flourishing career, and had a way better longevity than Maradona and Ronaldinho. That's why Messi is first. And then in second place, I would have Ronaldinho and Maradona. And then in fourth place, I would have Ronaldo 9. And in fifth place, I would have Pele. That would be my top 5 list of all time. But hey, I guess they did their list. They put fifth Johan Cruyff. I think fifth is a bit too high for him. I don't see Johan Cruyff being better than Ronaldinho. That's just fucking crazy. But in my opinion, Johan Cruyff is always top 10. Alfredo Di Stefano in 6th. Top 10 still, but not 6th. Franz Beckenbauer 7th. I wouldn't put a center back in 7th place, but maybe they just wanted to put a 7th, a center back in the top 10. Zinedine Zidane in 8th. You're telling me that Zinedine Zidane is better than Ronaldinho? You're telling me that Zinedine Zidane, as talented as he was, he is top 10 in my opinion. He's not better than Ronaldinho. There's no chance in hell that Zidane is better than Ronaldinho. If you think that Zidane is better than Ronaldinho, you have no football IQ. I'm sorry to say it, Zidane, top 10 of all time, amazing player, one of the greatest legends to ever play the game. But to say that he's better than Ronaldinho, do you understand how fucked up that is? But hey, I guess we don't all see the game the same. Ronaldo phenomenal, they put him ninth, which I think is too low for him. He should be placed higher, should be top 5 easily. And then, just to piss me off even more, they put Ferenc Puskás 10th place. You're really telling me that Puskás is better than Ronaldinho? What the actual fuck, guys? Like, who the fuck made this fucking list, man? Jesus Christ, man. Like, if it was my list, Messi first, Ronaldinho Maradona second, fourth place, I would have Ronaldo Fenomeno, fifth place, I would have Pele, sixth place, I would have Johan Cruyff, seventh place, I would have Zinedine Zidane. No, sixth place, Johan Cruyff, seventh place, Cristiano Ronaldo, eighth place, Zinedine Zidane, ninth place, Neymar Jr., and 10th place, Alfredo Di Stefano. That's the real top 10 of all time. So guys, that was it for football. Now let me drop into the reality check section. Okay, so guys, recently 50 Cent was a fucking top G, bro. He made a documentary regarding the life and the crazy life that P. Diddy have regarding his sexual adventures, if I might call them like that. But I just wanted to say that, 50 Cent, one of my favorite rappers, him with Eminem and Lil Wayne and many other rappers who are like in the same clique, in the same gang, Aftermath, Shady Records, and all of that, G Unit. 50 Cent is a G, bro. He goes after everyone, just like Eminem. Eminem in his prime, when he used to rap and used to roast people, he would go against anyone and everyone, and he didn't give a fuck. If he felt like you needed to get bashed, he would bash you. If he felt like you needed to get roasted, he would roast you. Same goes for 50 Cent. 50 Cent, since the beginning of time, hated P. Diddy. In the beginning, like in the early 2000s, late 1990s, no one necessarily hated P. Diddy because no one knew what he was truly like. Of course, he has his public image and whatever, but no one knew about his freak-offs. No one knew how fucking mentally deranged he was. But I guess 50 Cent, since he was in that industry, he knew him better than others. And of course, Eminem also hated P. Diddy since the beginning. They go after everyone, and they don't give a fuck who you are. They go after all these mentally deranged people, if I might add. And recently, 50 Cent wrote on he wrote on Twitter, he said, "Ayo, LeBron, stop acting like you innocent, you next, and it ain't about basketball, champ." Now, I don't know what he's talking about. LeBron James, in my eyes, was always a good guy, but maybe he knows something that we don't. Maybe he's just opening his mouth to talk and just maybe wants to trash talk him. I don't know. But whoever 50 Cent hates, and like Andrew Schultz once said this on his podcast, whoever 50 Cent hates in the beginning, we all end up hating him years later. So, hey, I don't know what's going to happen. Who knows what he's going to unveil from LeBron James, but maybe he's only just talking to talk, right? But I remember that 50 Cent always hated Floyd Mayweather because he considered Mayweather to be like a illiterate guy, not a sophisticated individual, not a good businessman, whatever. He just never loved Mayweather, and Mayweather never loved 50 Cent. They always bashed each other. I even once saw like a video of 50 Cent. You know when the ASL bucket challenge was really popular? 50 Cent once did a video where he was like, okay, ASL challenge to Floyd Mayweather, but instead of dumping a bucket of water on your head, I challenge you to read 3 pages of the Harry Potter book. Because Mayweather is known to not be able to read. He's known to be illiterate. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he's known to be like, to not be able to read. And then 50 Cent, I challenge you to read 3 pages of a Harry Potter book. 50 Cent is crazy, but I fucking love it, man. So guys, a little bit of human psychology and philosophy to reach your full potential. In my opinion, what I learned from these past years is the best way to grow in life and the best way to move forward is to only focus on yourself. As human beings, we all have limited energy. And if we waste that energy comparing ourselves to others, focusing on other people's lives, then we're going to have way less energy and way less focus to put into our own lives and to just put towards our own goals. So The best way to do it is focus on yourself, try to be better than who you were yesterday, and just keep moving forward. Like Ty Lopez once wrote on Facebook, he said, your lack of confidence is a spiritual problem. You forgot the miracle of your existence. I agree. We're all not perfect. We're all miracles. You just being alive is a miracle. Like everything that your genetic code had to surpass in order for you to be alive, everything your ancestors had to do for you to be alive is a miracle. Your lack of confidence is a spiritual problem. If you lack confidence, it's not because of someone else. It's not because of outside events. It's because there's something inside of you that you're lacking and that you are insecure of. He then went on to say, you are here because your ancestors survived things that would break most people today. That's true. Nowadays, of course, which is normal, we don't have the same upbringing as many people in the past, previous generations. They had it way harder. We, in general, our generation had it the easiest, which then translates to us being weaker mentally, quote unquote weaker as human beings, which is normal. The more hardships you face, the more of a fucked up life you have, the stronger of an individual and of a human being you're going to become. The more circumstances you accomplish, the more goals you accomplish, the more challenges you face and surpass, the more mentally tough and the more stronger you're going to be as an individual. Now, talking about sales, I've been working in sales. My dad has been a salesman for the past 25 years. He used to sell cars. Now he sells houses. I know a lot of people who worked in sales. Having some sort of sales experience. Now, I'm not saying doing a sales job for the rest of your life. Why? Is because it's a really inconsistent job. There's no consistency and it's a really unstable job, sales. Because maybe 1 month you're going to sell for 10,000 profit and you're going to make a paycheck of like 20,000 and you're going to make one hell of a big paycheck. But the next month you can maybe make $0. That's sales. You never know how much you're going to make. But the fact remains is that, in my opinion, every human being should have some sort of sales experience, some sort of level. And it can only help you in your life because in your relationships with your wife, with your kids, outside the job, inside the job, whatever you're doing, there's always some sort of sales going on, some sort of negotiations going on. It's always like that. That's life. Life is all about negotiating. It's all about selling yourself to accomplish your dreams. And it's all about having sales experience, how to negotiate. There's an art to it. There is negotiating is an art to itself. And being a good salesperson is an art form. It takes some people have it more naturally than others. But anyone can develop it. And in my opinion, like I said, everyone should have some sort of sales experience. And not only is that good for you to be able to convince someone, to persuade someone to do something that you want him to do or to get something out of him. Not only that, but sales teaches you a lot about human psychology, human behavior, and it teaches you one of the most important aspects a human being can have, how to handle failure and how to handle rejection. I saw once like a video on Instagram where there's like a guy at the bar talking to a girl, then the girl rejects him. Then you see him he's like, yo, why did she reject me? 2 seconds later, he's talking to the next girl just sitting beside him. Then someone wrote, this guy is immune to rejection. He must work in sales. It's funny, but it's true. When you work in sales, you quickly develop the skill to not give a fuck when you face failure and when you face rejection. Why? Because you're gonna face rejection every single day. Let's say me, from my experience, if I meet 3 clients in a single day, on average, I'm gonna face 2 rejections and I'm gonna close 1. Of course, there are exceptions to the rules. It happened once that I had 3 clients come in the same day and I closed all 3 of them, right? That happens. But in general, I'm speaking in general right now, if you meet 5 clients, you're gonna get 3 or 4 no's, 3 or 4 rejections. And then of course, some people are better than others, so that number can vary. But in general, you're gonna get way more rejection and way more failure than you're gonna get success rates, which is just normal. That's sales. And that's why having some sort of sales experience will teach you a lot about how to be resilient when you face rejection. and how to not give a fuck when someone tells you no and when someone doesn't want your business. So it's really good. Like someone wrote once, the man who can stay calm while he's broke, tired, and embarrassed will absolutely destroy the genius who falls apart under pressure. That's true. If you're capable of staying calm, like they say, a calm mind is a powerful mind. If you're capable of staying calm when everything is telling you to not be calm because you're broke, because you're tired, because you're embarrassed, if you have the emotional control to stay calm in the hardest moments of your life, that's when you're the strongest. That's when you're gonna accomplish the more, and when you're gonna grow the most as an individual. That's the most important aspect to have, is to how to remain calm in the hardest situations. When you're embarrassed, when you're broke, when you're tired, when you face rejection. For the past 20 clients, you saw you face rejection, but you still remain enthusiastic. You still remain calm. That's the most valuable skill set someone can have. Then he went on to say, emotional control is the highest form of intelligence. I agree, man. Like there is many types of intelligence, logical intelligence, this and that, many different types of intelligence. But emotional intelligence, controlling your emotions, is so fucking important in all aspects, in all fields of life. It's so fucking important. Staying stoic, and especially not only staying stoic when it's easy, staying stoic when all the odds are against you. When everything is going wrong, if you're capable of remaining calm and keeping a calm and cool mindset, staying stoic when everything is going wrong, that's the most important aspect someone can have. And then went on to say, managing your emotions is more valuable than IQ points, connections, or talent. So no matter how smart you are, no matter what your IQ point is, no matter how big your IQ is, no matter what the connections you have, no matter what your talents are, no matter what your competency is, if you don't have emotional control, it's all going to crumble, and you're going to lose to the guy who maybe doesn't have as big as an IQ as you do, maybe doesn't have the same connections that you do, maybe doesn't have the same talent that you do, but he has emotional control, and that's gonna enable him to weather storms that you could never weather because you don't have the same emotional control that he has. You're born alone and you're gonna die alone. That's true. You know, many people say it, you're born alone, you're gonna die alone. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that you don't have to make relationships. We are social creatures. So as having relationships with friends or with sexual relationships, romantic relationships, it's always something that we're gonna seek and love. But you're born alone and you're gonna die alone. That's a fact. But God, the universe, whatever higher power you believe in, will always be by your side. Always, always. So even though maybe in some moments of your life you have a phase where you feel more alone, where you feel more of solitude, where you feel more that you're alone, that's normal. But always remember that God is always by your side and will always be by your side. He will never leave you, no matter who you are, no matter what you did, no matter what your past looks like. God will always be by your side, and he'll never give up on you. He has unconditional love for you, and he always will have unconditional love for you, no matter who you are, no matter what you did. Okay, so guys, as you guys know, right now we're the 26th of December. When this episode will be posted, it will be like the 27th or the 28th of December. But the new year is coming up, right? New year, new me. Everyone does it. It's normal. We all want to, like I said, everyone wants to become a better version of themselves. Life is all about upgrading, getting better, getting closer to your goals, accomplishing your goals, accomplishing your dreams. That's normal, right? So of course, with the new year comes new year, new me. But how I always saw it is, you don't have to wait until the 1st of January to start doing what you want to do with your life. Start right this second, right? I had like a girl once come up to me and she's like, oh, I saw you have a podcast. That's really cool. I would love to have a podcast. What do I have to do? I'm like, you literally just have to do, literally have to do it. There's nothing special to it. I even gave him the name to the Instagram of my producer. I'm like, yo, just contact this guy. Tell him you want to do a podcast. Set up a date. Set up a time. Have subjects ready. Maybe have a guest on. Ask him questions. Have different topics you want to address with your guest. Or do a solo episode. whatever you're passionate about, whatever you love doing, do that. But there's nothing magical to it. Anyone can do it. You just literally have to do it. So that's one thing. But my point is, you don't have to wait until the 1st of January. When someone says that, in general, when someone does that, oh, I'm gonna wait until the 1st of January, it's because deep down they're afraid. Just do it now. I mean, what are you waiting? You don't have to wait until the 1st of January to start something. When you want to become the best version of yourself, start right now, today. What can you do to become better than who you were yesterday? And then slowly, gradually, you get better and better. You start incorporating more and more into your life. And then you start becoming more and more competent. You get closer and closer to your dreams. And you start becoming more free. And you care less about what people think. And you literally start living life on your own terms. And you literally start living life how you want to live life. Not giving a fuck what other people think, what other people say. And when you do everything you're supposed to do, when you face your fears, when you never give up, day by day, slowly but surely, you're getting better and better and better and better. And then when you look, and then let's say fast forward 10 years from now, when you look back 10 years in the past, you're going to be like, wow, I accomplished a lot. I evolved a lot. I leveled up a lot. And now I'm a way more competent person, a way more successful person, and a way better person than who I was 10 years ago. But it's all, like I said, start right now. Don't have to wait until the 1st of January. Although that can work. I mean, some people did wait until the 1st of January. They started it the 1st of January, and then they never gave up, and it worked for them. Do whatever works for you. But from experience and from what I heard from other people, if you want to change your life, you can literally start not this day, but this second. You can literally start this second changing your life. That's how simple it is. It's not easy. Simple doesn't mean it's easy. It's easy. Simple doesn't mean it's hard. Simple simply means that it's something you can do right now, but it's really fucking hard. Changing your life, becoming a better person, changing your personality, changing who you are, upgrading, leveling up is a really, really hard and tough process. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And that's why the majority of people don't do it, is because it's really fucking hard. Step by step, becoming a better version of yourself, facing your fears, trying new things, not being afraid to take rejection, to take failure, facing rejection and still going. You know, when someone faces rejection, we tend to give up. Not giving up is really fucking important. Facing rejection and not losing enthusiasm, facing loss, taking an L and not giving up is one of the hardest skill set. And if I might add, that is a skill set. It's one of the hardest skill sets one can possess. Some people have it naturally. Some people care less when they take an L and when they face failure. Those people are fucking blessed. Even though some of those people have zero talent, have zero whatever, but they have the talent and the skill set of being resilient in the face of failure and being resilient in the face of rejection. That's a really fucking powerful skill set to have. And talking about accomplishing your dreams, knowing what your destiny is, like I said, we all have free will, but in my opinion, we're all predetermined. We all have preset talents. We all have different things that we like to do. We all have different passions. So that's why, in my opinion, we all have a different destiny. We all have a different life goal. But to know what your life goal is, first of all, before you do anything, you have to silence your ego and listen to your soul. That is really fucking hard to do. I'm not saying it's easy, because our ego, as human beings, we all have egos. It's normal. Some people have more than others, but we all have egos. But the best way to listen to your soul is to silence your ego and simply listen to your soul. Then when you listen to your soul, try new things. If you think there's something you might be passionate about, there's something you might like, try it out. You don't know. Maybe you're going to love it. Maybe you're not going to love it. Let's take me for my example for my podcast, right? If Luca would have never started the podcast and invited me to do 10 episodes 3 years ago, I would have never started a podcast. I used to never listen to podcasts. I never gave a fuck about podcasts. I didn't even really know much. I only knew about Joe Rogan because he was so fucking popular and he was in the UFC, a commentator for the UFC, and he was really fucking popular. And also one of the reasons why I knew so much of him is because whenever I went to Luca's room, I always saw Luca listening to Joe Rogan, always. So that's why I knew of him. But before Luca had the idea of starting a podcast, I if it wasn't for Luca, I would have never started a podcast. If it wasn't for Luca, I would have never found out that I have a passion for podcasting. I would have never found out. So the most important is try new things. Whatever you feel like you might like, try it out. What's the worst thing that can happen? The worst thing that can happen is you're gonna get a clearer mind, because you're gonna be like, okay, I tried it out, so I know that I don't like it. Or I tried it out and now I know that I like it. Because let's say you're debating the fact that, oh, should I start a podcast? Should I? Would I like it? Would I not like it? You can have that debate in your mind for years and years. As long as you don't try it, as long as you don't do it, you're never going to know if you're going to like it, if you're going to be passionate about it, or if you're not going to like it and you're not going to give a fuck about it. Same goes for whatever else you might like. Oh, I would like to start a company who does tech gadgets. I don't know. I'm just spitting that out like that. As long as you don't try it, you're not going to know if you're going to love it. But of course, like, there are some different aspects. Like, let's say ever since you're young, you love gadgets. So of course that can have a bigger impact on you actually loving the idea of you having a business that produces high-tech gadget. Of course, there is that logic. But if I take my experience, like, let's say Luca had the idea to do a podcast because he used to listen to a lot of podcasts. He really fucking loved it. He really loved Joe Rogan and many other podcasts. And he was like, yo, why don't I start a podcast? So that's logical, right? So there is that case, right? But at the end of the day, him starting the podcast takes balls. He did it. He took out his balls and he did it. But you can also have the other life path, which is more like mine, which I had no idea of what a podcast is. I never would have thought I would have loved it. I never gave a fuck about it. I never listened to podcasts. But then my brother, who was a big podcast enthusiast, he had the idea. He invited me. We did a couple of episodes, and now I'm still doing episodes because I have a passion for it. I love it. So as much as anyone else who has a podcast and does episodes, it's because they have a passion for it, right? If you do something and you don't like it, you're just going to stop because you're not passionate about it. The best way to eliminate, in my opinion, this is the best way to eliminate jealousy, envy in your life, is simply by focusing on yourself, facing yourself, challenging yourself, and truly doing everything that you want to do with your life. When you only focus on yourself, when you wake up every single morning excited about trying new things, facing new fears, overcoming new challenges, overcoming new obstacles, when you put all of your energy on that, you have no time to waste on other people's lives, meaning you have no time of being jealous or envious of other people because you just have no time. You don't give a fuck. You're constantly, like, your mind is constantly in a state where it's curious, where it wants to try new things, where it wants to learn new things, where it wants to accomplish new goals. So you're only focusing on yourself. That's why you have no time to focus on others. And when you have no time and no energy to focus on others, how can you be envious of others when you just simply don't have the time to focus on others because you're just focusing on your goals and your dreams and you're facing your fears and you're going towards your dreams and you're going towards accomplishing whatever you want to accomplish. So in my opinion, the best way to eliminate, if you're a person who's very jealous and envious, I never really had a problem. Speaking from personal experience, I was never really the jealous type or the envious type, but some people really are. And the best way to do it is simply by doing whatever you want to do and you only focus on yourself. Envy and jealousy only comes from when you compare yourself with others, right? Oh, he has more money, he has more this, that. You're comparing yourself. When you stop comparing yourself with others, when you start comparing yourself with who you were in the past, who you were yesterday, you're never going to be jealous or envious of others. You're only going to concentrate on how can I become a better human being. That's a goal of life. Next topic. So as you guys know, Christmas passed. And also now, many cities and many countries in the world plan to cancel their New Year's events, their New Year's ceremonies. They say now, I'm reading Fox News, they say that public safety concerns lead to cancellation of major New Year's Eve events in the world. As people around the world look forward to ringing in 2026, some major cities have already called off celebrations or special events. Paris, for example, has called off its famous New Year's Eve live concert on the Champs-Élysées. The mayor of the 8th arrondissement of Paris, Jeanne Dautesser, told Agence France Presse that the cancellation is due to concerns about unpredictable crowds and that the areas are not sized to host this type of event where people are moving. If I might add, imagine living in a country where you cannot even celebrate New Year's Eve, just like France used to in the past, because of major reasons that currently your country is facing. Many political reasons why. Mass immigration is one of them, where they feel like they don't know what's going to happen. They don't know what kind of actors are going to be involved in that ceremony. For public safety, it's better if we cancel New Year's Eve celebrations. They understand how fucking fucked up that is, man. Especially in a country like France, a first world country, a Western country. Crazy. Fireworks will still take place at the Arc de Triomphe instead of a live concert. However, a pre-recorded one will be broadcasted. It's not the same. In Tokyo, the Shibuya Countdown event has been canceled by their organizing committee, according to a government press release. In order to create a safe and secure city, we continue to be vigilant against nuisance behavior arising from drinking on the street, as well as the risk of crowd accidents. That's normal, right? Whenever you have a big event, whenever you have a big celebration, a big public celebration, of course, some people are going to drink more. Some people are more violent. You have a big crowd of people. Amongst those people, they're all different. Some are more violent. Some are there to simply have a good time with their family members and with their friends. And some are there to cause trouble. Unfortunately, sad to say, but some people are there to cause trouble. And when you have someone who, by default, wants to cause trouble, wants to create chaos and havoc, and then you add in alcohol, maybe even drugs, of course, you never know what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, I feel like it's the country's job to ensure the safety of its citizens in big celebrations like these. Instead of canceling it, maybe put in more officers, more police officers, because what's the point of living life if whenever there's like this big event where people need to enjoy and where people want to enjoy, you cancel them because of security reasons? How about you level up on security and make sure that people who just simply want to enjoy with their family members and with their friends, they can do it with peace of mind and in peace. In my opinion, that's how it should be done. The city of Belgrade in Serbia, the city where my parents are from, also announced that it's canceled its celebrations. This year, there will be no organized New Year's Eve nor Serbian New Year's Eve celebration. Again, I understand the logic, but hey, guys, you have to bring in more security, because how can you cancel such a big event for many people just because you feel like you don't have the right security measures? No, of course. In any event, there's always going to be, no event's going to be perfect. It's just how it is. There's going to be slip-ups here and there. But you have to calculate the risks and the reward. And then you have to make sure that security is up to date and that everyone's going to be there. Kids, parents, grandparents, whoever, they're all safe and in a harmonious atmosphere. But still, I believe that canceling it isn't the answer. Finding solutions for better safety and having better security is the answer, in my opinion. The cancellations come as the FBI busted a New Year's Eve bombing plot in Los Angeles earlier this week, arresting 4 alleged gang members. The plot allegedly included a plan for coordinated bombing attacks using improvised explosive devices meant to target 5 separate locations across the city. The FBI told Fox News, about 1 million people are expected to pack into Times Square in Manhattan for the famous New Year's Eve ball drop. Paul Morrow, a Fox News contributor and a former NYPD inspector, told Fox News Digital that New Year's Eve is the biggest police detail probably in the country. New Year's Eve is sort of the Super Bowl for the NYPD. You have to do everything you can to control that, not only for terror threats, but just for disorder, said Mauro. I agree. So you see, they didn't cancel it. Why? Because it's such a beautiful event. It's such a big event. And so many people are looking forward to that event. So many family members, so many kids who are going to see it for the first time in their lives. You cannot cancel it. The goal is to make sure that you can control it to the best of your capabilities, and to try to not only take care of terror threats, but to make sure that there's no disorder and there's no chaos. That's how it's done. Not canceling it, but making sure that everything is safe and peaceful. You wouldn't believe how many windows and rooms were secured. You want to ensure that there aren't people throwing bottles at each other and fighting. Of course, alcohol, crowds, whatever, anything can happen. Or somebody lets off firecrackers, or there's a stampede. There's a ton of work that goes on behind the scenes in Times Square to secure that area, said Mauro. I can only believe, right? I mean, imagine Times Square. First of all, New York has like 12 to 13 million people living there. You add in all the tourists, New Year's Eve, the ball drop, which is iconic, which is historical. There's going to be a lot of fucking people, but it's still there's place for peace and safety and security. For those who plan on being in Times Square on New Year's Eve, Mauro said it's essential to have a contingency plan. If you're with a group of people, or if you've brought your kids in or something like that, it's easy to get separated in the crowd, he said. If that happens, you can't necessarily rely on your mobile phones. Sometimes the cell circuits in and around Times Square on New Year's Eve get overloaded. So, in my opinion, that's how it's done. I understand people canceling it because they're afraid of what can happen. I understand, but that goes for any event. Like in the World Cup, anything can happen, right? There's going to be so many people. Fights can break out, alcohol involved, anything can happen, right? But still, it's such a major event. You don't cancel the event. What you do is you make sure that security is up to the level of what can possibly happen. That's how it's done. Okay, so next topic. In the January 10th in Ottawa, there is a mass immigration protest coming up in Ottawa, January 10th. It's like people who want to protest against mass immigration. In my opinion, in Canada, recently there's been way too many immigrants. There's been way too much immigration, a mass immigration, like they say. It's too much. I'm gonna be there, but the reason I'm gonna be there is I'm going to do like a vox pop. I'm going to go there and ask people questions, try to video, make a couple of clips for my podcast. I'm going to call it ADP on the go. I'm going to be there. Probably a lot of people are going to be there. And like I said, my parents are immigrants. I have many friends who are immigrants. And many of my friends who are immigrants and their parents, even they are fed up with all this mass immigration coming in Canada. There's so many immigrants coming, and you can't blame them. I mean, they're coming in so fast, and a big number of them, that they don't even have the time to acclimatize and to get familiar with their surroundings and with their new way of life. They don't have the time, so you can't really blame them. Although, if I'm being honest, some immigrants simply don't want to assimilate. They just want to bring their old way of life into Canada, and they don't want to respect Canadian culture. But for the vast majority of immigrants, when they come to Canada, it's because they want a better life. So they are ready for assimilation and for integration, the vast majority. But there is like a 4 to 5% which doesn't respect Canada and just wants to abuse of the Canadian system and take the most it can out of the Canadian system, squeeze the most it can out of it regarding money and whatever. But the vast majority of immigrants who come to Canada is because they want a new life, they want a new country, a new culture, and they want, of course, a better life for themselves and for their kids and their future generations, which is normal. That is. But like I said, I have many friends who are immigrants, their parents, and they're all against mass immigration because now it's just uncontrolled with all these students coming from India, China, wherever. It's just uncontrolled, and they don't have the time to assimilate and to integrate into a new society and a new culture and a new way of life. But like I said, I'm going to be there asking questions. Let's see what happens. Okay, so guys, recently Anthony Joshua fought against Jake Paul. That fight, I saw some people on Instagram or on social media saying that Jake Paul has a chance. Do you guys understand how fucked up that is? Anthony Joshua not only is a pro boxer, so already right there he's a pro boxer, and Jake Paul isn't a real pro boxer. He's not. That's a fact. So not only is Anthony Joshua a pro boxer, he's one of the best to ever do it, and he's a heavyweight. He's 6'6", and he's like 230 pounds of pure muscle. Do you understand what kind of a fucking beast that guy is? So he's a pro boxer, one of the best to ever do it, a heavyweight, 6'6", 230 pounds of pure muscle. No fucking shit, he broke Jake Paul's jaw. Like, no fucking shit, he beat the shit out of Jake Paul, and no shit, he broke his jaw. If I'm being honest, Anthony Joshua went light on him. He could have finished him off in the first round if he wanted to, but he wanted to, of course, at least do a minimum of 6 rounds. So, of course, there's a little bit of a show. That's a fact. But there's no comparing Jake Paul with Anthony Joshua. That's just fucking crazy. And if I might add, dude, the money they made, as much as someone can hate on Jake Paul and say that he's not a boxer, you cannot disrespect him and disrespect the money he made. He made $93 million from this boxing fight against Anthony Joshua. They each made $93 million. Do you understand how fucked up that is? Jake Paul, who is not a professional athlete, he's a YouTuber. He's a content creator. He made more money from a sporting event than 99.9% of professional athletes across the world. Yo, respect to Jake Paul. Hate on him all you want. I don't hate on him. I just say the facts. He's not a real boxer. He's not a professional boxer. His skill set isn't up to that level. But he made $93 million as a professional boxer, which is fucking crazy, man. Like I said, he made more money from a single fight than 99.9999% of athletes across the world in a calendar year, which is fucking respect to Jake Paul. Hate on the Paul brothers all you want, but all the most respect to them, man. Talking about boxing events, Andrew Tate fought against Chase Demore. Chase Demore was he's like an influencer, content creator. I think he went on Love Island. Right, he went on Love Island. I think then he became like a content creator. But he fought against Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate, yes, he is 40 years old. He did lose to Chase Demore. He lost. A little parentheses. He lost against Chase Demore. He is 40 years old. But Chase is not a boxer. He never boxed before. He's never been a professional athlete in his life. And Andrew Tate, as he dubs himself, he's a 4-time world champion in kickboxing. I would have expected a bit more from Andrew Tate, to be honest. I would have thought that Andrew Tate would have won. Yes, he's 39, 40 years old, and father time is a real thing. I agree, and I understand that fact. But he was a 4-time kickboxing world champion in the past. And Chase Demore is an influencer. He's a social media content creator, and he's a former media personality, like reality show personality. That's who Chase Demore is. So I was really surprised that he won against Andrew Tate. Many people are saying that Andrew Tate was a fraud. He's never been a kickboxing champion. I don't know, but to be fair, I heard Joe Rogan talk about Andrew Tate, and he said that Andrew Tate was a real legit kickboxer in the time. So I'm gonna go with what Joe Rogan said and what I saw, that he was actually a 4-time kickboxing world champion. But him losing to Chase, man, I was really surprised and it shook me. Then Andrew Tate, after the fight, went on to say on Twitter, 99.9% of 40-year-old men with $700 million sit around with whores. I could have done the same and talked shit on the internet and took no risks and just lived life easy. That's true. 99.9% of human beings who are 40-year-old men will never fight. And if I might add, 99.999% of human beings, no matter what their age is, have never fought in their life and will never fight in their life. That's a fact. But you are Andrew Tate. You did dub yourself as a 4-time former kickboxing world champion. So, I mean, I understand your logic, but you're not 99.9% of human beings when it comes to fighting abilities. He then went on to say, I could have done the same and talked shit on the internet and took no risks and just lived easy. In my heart, I knew I'm too old. I knew I'd been out too long. That's why I had to do it. To face fear, I can't live scared. I have to know I faced it. I lost fair and square. Chase is a true champion, a warrior. I'm proud of him. I agree. What he did still deserves respect. He is 40 years old, but he was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. People hating on him, I mean, I understand why they're hating. He was a 4-time kickboxing world champion and he lost to an influencer, but he is way older than Chase. And like I said, respect to him for still going there, but I'm surprised that he lost. And I mean, people are saying that he's He's not a top G anymore. He got unveiled who he truly is. But I mean, he is 40 years old, so it is what it is. Let's do a couple of... should I do it or should I maybe leave it for another episode? Let's see. How many... No, you know what? Let's end it right there with Andrew Tate getting disproved as a top G. Although I think he deserves the respect, but he did lose. But hey, that was it for this episode, guys. See you next time. Peace out.